Welcome back to the course, dear learners. In the following series of lectures, we'll learn Module 2 of Digital Image Processing. Let's look at the prescribed syllabus for second module. First off is about spatial domain processing. In that, we'll learn about basic intensity transformation functions, histogram processing, fundamental steps of spatial filtering, smoothing spatial filters, and sharpening spatial filters. And in the second half, we'll learn about frequency domain processing. In that, we'll learn about preliminary concepts of frequency domain processing, what is frequency domain, and then the discrete Fourier transform for two variables and properties of the two-dimensional DFT, filtering in the frequency domain, image smoothing and image sharpening using frequency domain filters, and selective filtering. So what is image enhancement? So we have already looked at the definition once in the introduction chapter. So to recall it, it's a process that improves the quality of the image for a specific application, and this enhancement varies with the user. And reason for doing this enhancement is uh, to highlight interesting detail in an image, or to remove noise from the images, or making images more visually appealing. So all these things depends on the user who is doing it. So some may say this much is enough, or some may say no, further refinement is possible. So it's a subjective process. Let's look at some of the enhancement methods that we can use. The first technique is a spatial domain method, where we use the image plane, means we operate on the pixel values straight away to get the desired results. So here we can increase or decrease the pixel values based on the neighborhood or any other transform uh, to get the desired output. In the second method, we use frequency domain method. Here, instead of operating on the pixel values directly, we go for the Fourier transform. Take the Fourier transform of the image and then operate or use the manipulation techniques in the Fourier domain, and then bring it back to spatial domain and then display the image to see the desired results. And the third method is a combination method, where we can use a combination of the above two methods to get the desired results. So these three are the techniques that we can use for image enhancement. This slide summarizes the image enhancement methods that we learned in the previous slide. So basically, we have an input image and we want to see a improved or better image, and for that we need image enhancement, and that enhancement depends on the application or the reason for enhancement. Like we may want to reduce the noise or remove the noise, or we may want to highlight some details in an image like edges or any other features, or maybe to make it more visually appealing to look at, more beautiful. So these things can be the reason for enhancement. So two techniques we saw, or three techniques. So first one was a spatial method, where we manipulate the pixel intensity directly, or frequency domain method, where we modify the Fourier transform of those pixel values, uh, or we can use combination of these two methods. So in first half of second module, we'll learn about image enhancement in the spatial domain. So let's begin. So spatial domain refers to the aggregate of pixels composing an image. So spatial domain methods are procedures that operate directly on these pixels. So this is how an digital image looks like. We have the origin, and we have y and x axis representation, and this is the neighborhood of the pixel, which is 3 cross 3 neighborhood. and the pixel location is x comma y. And so to give you the overall picture of what's going on here, this is a image, and if you zoom into this small part here, this is how it looks. We can see the pixelations happening. uh, we can just observe that there are some white parts and dark parts. Means white means it's brighter, somewhat brighter shades of gray, and dark pixels here. So in this smaller square, you take this 3 cross 3 pixel values inside. So these are the pixel values you get: 70, 60, 790, and it goes down to 1 is pitch black here, 193 are pitch dark in this square. So this is the pixel values. Okay, this is the spatial domain representation, and this is where we operate on the pixel values straight away. So in order to make it more clear, what we can do is we can reduce the ambiguity by making 9 and 3 and 1 as 0, so that we get a clear cut representation. And we can increase this pixel value 78, and we can increase this 51 to somewhere around 80, and this 90 to 100. That means we get more difference between these two elements here. Okay, so this line will become more clear. That means we are enhancing the contrast. So these are the things that we will see happening in the spatial domain methods. Spatial domain process will be denoted by the expression g of xy equal to t of f of xy. Here f of xy is the input image, g of xy is the processed or output image, and t is an operator on f defined over some neighborhood of f of xy. And this is how it looks actually. This is the input image, and this is the enhanced or output image g of xy. And t operates on neighborhood of pixels. So t can be neighborhood of uh, 3 cross 3 or 5 cross 5 or 7 cross 7, or it can also be 1 cross 1. And also in addition to this, t can operate on set of input images. It could be three uh, samples for a pixel for color like RGB. It can operate on them, or else it can do batch processing and take multiple input images and operate on it. The simplest form of T is when neighborhood size of 1 cross 1 is considered. That means we are just focusing on a single pixel here and its value. We are not considering its neighborhood. And G depends only on the value of f at xy, and T becomes a gray level transformation function of the form S is equal to T of R, where R is the input image pixel value, S is the output image pixel value, and T is the transformation function or operator. And here this operator can be a addition operator or subtractor, or it can be a multiplier, or it can be a logarithmic operator or power operator. So any operator we can use to manipulate the pixel value. Like you have a darker region and you want to increase its brightness, just you can add plus 50 for that pixel, or you can use a multiplication, or you can use a power function to boost that value, or decrease that particular pixel intensity. Let us understand the meaning of contrast, because we'll use this term a lot, and it's very much essential to understand uh, what what is the impact of changing the contrast on an image. So consider this example, and you can see on the left hand side of this image the edges are not clear. It's somewhat vague because the background is not pitch black. It's somewhat grayish. It looks uh, dark compared to the foreground here, but it's not totally dark. And even the foreground, it looks whitish, but it's not totally white. So the edges are not clearly defined. Somewhat it's vague. The difference between the background and the foreground isn't that much great here. Now if you move to the right hand side of the image, here you can see the pattern is clearly visible. That means the background is black, that is pitch black, and the foreground is white, and the difference between white and black here is more, and at the border it is more evident. You can clearly see the edge here, but here it's somewhat vague. So this is the effect of contrast. We'll consider one more example. Yeah, in this example, the left hand side the contrast is less, the image looks blurry. On the right hand side, you can clearly see the difference between the background sky and the foreground. The trees and all, or the edges are clearly visible, and even inside the region here, trees, the uh, what you call the textures, or the leaf are clearly visible or clearly distinguishable. Here it's somewhat blurry, and even the uh, water here, it's more clear on the right hand side than the left hand side. So this is the effect of contrast on an image. So let's see the formal definition for that. So contrast is defined as the separation between the darkest and brightest areas of the image. If you increase the contrast, you increase the separation between dark and bright, making shadows darker and highlights brighter. And if you decrease the contrast, you bring the shadows up and highlights down to make them closer to one another. Adding contrast usually adds pop to the image and makes the image look more vibrant, while decreasing the contrast makes the image look more duller. Okay, so that is why we go for uh, contrast enhancement in most of our image enhancement approaches. Let's look at the basic example of image enhancement technique. First one is the contrast stretching, and in this the transformation function TFR has the form as shown in the figure. So in the figure, x-axis is R, which is the input image pixel value, and y-axis is S, which is TFR, transformed image or output image pixel value. Now you can see here, left to right you is dark to light. So left side is dark, and as you move towards the right side, on this x-axis it is light color or brighter pixel values, and similarly on the y-axis the mapping is origin is dark. As you move upward you hit higher intensity or brighter pixel values. Now the transformation function TFR is shaped so that uh, you are stretching the contrast. That means so till the value of input image input pixel value hits some level, the output is kept at 0. That means you are making it darker till it hits some threshold, like in this case. So if it is 0 and if it is 100%, so somewhere around 30% of input level, 0 to 30%, output pixel value will remain darker, it is 0. As it increases beyond the 30% and reaches somewhere around 70%, we see the transition here, and so mid level is mapped to mid level, and as it hits the 70% mark and beyond, here at this point it is mapped to uh, complete brightness in the output image. So 70% and above is mapped to full brightness. The output image will be brighter if the pixel values above this threshold, maybe around 70% in this example. So what happens here is we are making the brighter pixels more brighter, and we are making the darker pixels more darker, and thus we are enhancing the contrast. So by definition contrast means the separation between the brighter and darker pixels. So the effect of applying the transformation would produce higher contrast than the original image by darkening the levels below M in the original image and brightening the levels above M in the original image. So contrast stretching is a simple image enhancement technique that improves the contrast in an image by stretching the range of intensity values it contains to span a desired range of values. And typically it uses a linear function. Another spatial domain technique which we can think of is thresholding. So thresholding is a limited case of contrast stretching, and it produces a two level or binary image. How it produces a binary image? Let's look at this transfer function here. X-axis is input pixel value, y-axis is output pixel value. Now if the input pixel value is less than m, then the output is pegged at 0. It's a dark pixel. If it is more than m, it will be pegged to maximum value, or it will be a full bright pixel. It's either full white or pitch black, nothing in between. So it's a binary image, and it's a fairly simple yet powerful processing approach. And it is widely used in many advanced applications that we will learn about in the coming classes. The two techniques that we studied till now, contrast stretching or thresholding, are called as point processing because enhancement at any point in an image depends only on the gray level at that point. So we consider the input pixel value, and then we manipulate it and get the output pixel value. So one pixel of input affects the outcome at the output image. So that is why it is called as point processing. Point processing has its limitations, like you just can enhance or increase brightness or decrease brightness based on a single pixel, and defined by some function given by the user. But instead, if you go for a larger neighborhood like this, then you will get considerably more flexibility in how you deal with the enhancement. You can also play around with the neighborhood intensities, like you can increase or decrease the pixel value based on its neighborhood, where you may want to highlight it to make it more sharper, or you may want to average it to make it duller or more blur. So this is the advantage with going for large neighborhoods. And one of the principal approaches in this formulation is based on the use of so-called masks, also referred as filters or kernels. And how it works is you have a mask, in this case 3 cross 3 matrix, and this is an averaging mask or averaging filter. So there are 9 pixels. So what you can do is add all the pixel values up and divide by 9, or else you can take 1 by 9 for each cell, and you place this mask on the image. So this is the center pixel 1 by 9. So if I want to filter this 21, I'll put this mask over here, and I'll cover this 3 cross 3 matrix around this 21, like 120, 190, 140, 17, 21, 30, 89, 129, 150. All these pixel values will be added up and divided by 9. So whatever average we get will be replaced, we will be replacing this 21 here. So in this case the average will be 98. So this 21 in the original image will become 98 in the output image. This is how a simple averaging mask works, and this is a low pass filter, or it makes the image look a bit blurry. It removes the noise, but it makes the image look a little bit blur. We'll consider more examples later. This is just an introduction part. So a mask or a filter is a small, say 3 cross 3 2D array, such as the one defined here, uh, in which the values of the mask coefficients determine the nature of the process, such as image sharpening. Enhancement techniques based on this type of approach often are referred to as mask processing or filtering. So in this example, we are seeing a 2 cross 2 window, and the operation or the operator is the sum operator. So what we are doing here is we are considering 2 cross 2 window, and we are performing the addition, and then we are replacing the first pixel with the summation, and in the next instance we'll move the window to the right, and we'll add 8 plus 2 plus 200 plus 20, and we'll write the sum here, and then so on. So one pixel by pixel we need to move the window so that we cover all the pixels. So this is how a typical mask operator works. So we will see a lot more examples later in the chapter. With this we have come to the conclusion of first lecture in the second module. So in this lecture we studied about methods for image enhancement, what is contrast in an image, what is point processing, and what is a mask filter or a kernel, and what is mask processing or filtering. In the next lecture we'll learn about some basic intensity transformation functions. See you at the next lecture. Thank you.